got the chance to run over to my local fabric store today. I got some really good stuff and I'm really excited to show it to you. This is all material for one blanket that I'm really looking forward to making for someone that I really care about. So I wanted to show you guys what I picked and the reasoning behind how I picked it, as well as some things that I was able to find at home to kind of fill in any gaps that I might have in this blanket. So to give you an idea of the blanket type that I'm going to be making, I'm going to be doing a triangle pattern that I will personally just be drawing up in my little sketchbook. And it's really simple to look at those pictures on like Pinterest is where I just go for inspiration, and then I sketch it up and come up with the dimensions myself, and I am having a lot of fun doing that. So that video will be coming down the line when I get this done. But for now, I wanted to show you how I picked the materials that I picked and why I picked them. So, all right, this one is actually one material. I decided halfway through that I wanted more fabric, so I got 2 cuts of this, and this is honestly my favorite. This was kind of my inspiration for the entire quilt that I'm gonna be making. And the reasoning is I love the sketch pattern that you see on these different leaves. I love that there's a little bit of color in it, but I love that it's gray and like white. However, this black that looks pretty black has a little bit of a bluish hint to it. So I loved that it kind of pulled a little bit more color in this than just black and white. So that's why I picked that one. So from there, I was able to find in the same line, and these were all from Joann's. So if you're someone that has a Joann's near you and you love any of these, you can go look at their collection. I feel like they've worked really well with some of the blankets that I've made in the past, and so I wasn't too worried about the quality there. I feel like this line is the Keepsake Calico line at Joann's. So I was able to find a couple more of these. So I loved these flowers. So here's 2 of the flowers. Ready? So I've got these 2 different types of flowers. Obviously the coloring is completely different. It's keeping with the same color tone that I have going on here. And it's actually the same shape as the leaf pattern that I've got in this. The leaves are the same shape, which I really loved. They look like they're sketched by basically like the same person, which I really liked. So this is actually, as far as I can tell, the exact same pattern. It's just different colors. So one of them is white, where the other one's gray, and it's like gray on gray, white on white, with this one being yellow and this one having like the darker gray in it. So I loved that. Now I did actually get 2 more leaf patterns. They are both white. Now the reasoning behind this, if you can see, it's got a lot. Let me try this so that hopefully the white balance isn't too messed up on my camera here. So this one has longer leaves, where this one has a little bit rounder leaves. So it's got a pretty similar stem pattern. I didn't want anything that was super like swirly or like doodly looking as far as like a kid's sketch flower. I wanted to keep it a little bit more mature in the floral range. And then this one's just it's white on white. So again, I'm not sure exactly how well it's showing up on my camera. I hope it's working out well. But it's just a much smaller leaf pattern. But I loved that I was able to incorporate in the whites these different leaf patterns so that it doesn't all look like it's the exact same leaf going on. So that was why I picked those. Then for some textural difference, I added in a white with some gray. It's almost like it just looks textured to me. And then this one has obviously like the dot pattern on the white, or the gray with white dot pattern going on. So one of the ways that I did this, when I look at this in my cart, is I will go ahead and I will separate. I put the clean edges out. I like to separate the whites from the grays and kind of stack them. And where these 2 are the exact same style, I will actually separate them out even a little bit more and add that one on the bottom. I have 7 different colors going on here. I have separated them out so that they are white, gray, white, gray, white, gray, white. That helps me kind of get visually a balance of how light is it going to be. Obviously, if I have 7 colors, one of those is going to be a more dominant. So for me, I picked the lighter one to be more dominant. I know that I'm going to be using a minky backing on this that's gray. And so I wanted to make sure that the top side of the quilt had a lighter feel to it so that the bottom side could hold a little bit more depth of color as far as like the gray goes. So that's why I did that. I also picked these. This one actually had some really cool options. This pattern had some really cool options where there was like gray with coral, which is one of my favorite colors. I love coral. And so that would be a really fun one. There was some like blues with like turquoise and navy that I honestly love. When I first started sewing quilts, I would honestly I would be like, oh, I'm gonna use this. And I would pick this, and then I would pick this, and I would get every single color variation of this. And what that does is, yes, it's a cohesive pattern, but I have found for me, the blanket ends up being visually distracting if you have too many of the exact same pattern going on with not enough color, not enough of the same color families being pulled together. So I have found personally that I like picking my favorites and going from there. And then again, I just lay it out like this so that I can kind of get a feel for, does one of them not stand out? I actually found a green material that I loved for the theme of like leafy that I was going for, and I loved that one, but it didn't match with the color scheme that I had going on. It really fell out of place, and when I put them side by side like this, it was really, really obvious that that one didn't tie in well. So I feel like that's been really helpful for me. As far as picking things. So when I came home, so I was able to get these 7 materials, as well as, I'm really excited about this, I got this snapping container so that I can store some of my bigger fabrics a little bit more organized. And I love that it's an easy thing that can stack on top of itself. So if you're looking for ways to organize your fabric room, tell me in the comments what you have already done that's worked for you, because I am trying to figure out how to store all of this awesome material that I'm getting, but I want it to still feel orderly because I sew as a way to relax, and if my space is totally a mess, I really struggle. So tell me what you are doing. This is what I'm doing, is snapware. I may still play with that. It's actually like the 3rd storage system that I've come up with in the last couple of months, so who knows if it will stick around, but I'll keep you posted on that. So the other thing that I wanted to say is that I have this material that I've been using on a different quilt that I have a little bit extra of. So I'm considering adding some of that one in. And then this one is a little bit more doodly, but it's also a white on white, and it is floral. It has some leaves in here. So it is a little bit more of the doodly, a little bit less sophisticated looking than some of these leaves are, but I still thought it was really cute, and I am considering adding it into this blanket. So I will either be using 7, 8, or 9 different materials on this, but these are the colors that I'm going to be sticking with. I think it's going to turn out really well. And I'm really excited to cut it into those triangles that I was telling you about and make my very first triangle quilt. So stay tuned for that. I'm really excited about this, and I hope that the next time you run to the fabric store, you're able to find exactly what you need for the project you're working on, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.